Even the strongest man or woman can have a moment of weakness when triggered.
I'm gonna make a merch shirt that says that.
Coming up on the Valley After Show.
I just want to get divorced.
The only people that win in this, as you know, are the lawyers.
Well, luckily, I'm representing myself.
He is now saying, you promised me that you would pay me half of the wedding back.
Own up to it, be real with the doctors.
It took me to quit alcohol and drugs to realize I had a drug problem.
It was admirable to come out and say that. You just don't know Jax. You're trying to get ahead of something.
You had a boyfriend for a year.
Michelle asked about Aaron in 2022. I believe there was like an emoji, like a winky face or something.
You were inappropriate with me and her.
He had reached out to Jesse.
He thought Melissa was Michelle.
Not the best night of my life.
Jesse said that you're hooking up with a billionaire.
Or maybe I'm just trying to smoke out the mole on the boys' chat.
That's such a convenient bullshit lie. The Valley After Show starts right now.
Okay, there was,
Okay. I get nervous every time you say, okay.
there was an incident
Was there?
on Halloween at Jax's bar.
Not the best night of my life.
Danny approached Jasmine, put his hand on her thigh and said, you know, get daddy a drink, referring to himself as daddy. And then when she went to go get, I guess, daddy and some other people a drink as well, he approached Jasmine's girlfriend, Melissa, and grabbed her butt.
When the Halloween incident happened, I had blacked out. I didn't know what had happened while I was there.
I wasn't at that Halloween party. You were, right?
Yeah, I just grabbed him by the back of his neck and pulled him in really tight. I was like, what are you doing, bro?
I had reached out to everyone involved and apologized. I even reached out to Jax. I reached out to Jax and Brittany saying, I know this was your bar. I'm sorry I showed up that way. You know, Jax's response was, dude, you were fine by me. And everybody was like, everything's good. We're moving forward. No need to mention it again. When she brought it up, I was like, all right.
He goes, you're really doing this right now?
You were inappropriate with me and her. I just felt, okay, Dan's a good guy. So I was like, this is weird.
How dare you do this to me? I'm like, how dare I do it to you? I'm like, you're the one that said to get daddy a drink. You're the one that grabbed my fiance's ass. Yeah, I'm bringing it up because you have not apologized to my girlfriend.
Listen, I love Danny. I think he is in love with Nia. They have a great marriage. I think he's a good person. I think that he just kind of switches when he gets really drunk. And he does get very handsy. And I've seen it, and I had to be the one to call Nia and tell her about it.
So I first found out a few days after Halloween when Brittany called me and she was like, if the tables were reversed, I would want someone to call me and tell me, so I'm gonna like fill you in, this is what happened. And she was worried that I was gonna be like mad at her, and I was like, no, like you're a girl's girl. I need to know this information.
I told her that he was grabbing Jasmine, he was grabbing Melissa.
So I called Daniel and I was like, Jasmine, and I thought she said Michelle, so like I relayed the wrong information to Daniel. We're like made to feel very uncomfortable. So that's what he had reached out to Jesse because he was like, I can't believe I made Michelle feel uncomfortable.
So he obviously was very drunk to think that he touched me when he didn't, and in fact, call my ex-husband.
As if you're like Jesse's property.
Jesse's response was, Michelle wasn't even there. Because I told Nia, I said, call Brittany back and get the names because I want to make this right. Just how I operate.
Nia called me, apologized for him, and then like 2 weeks later, I get a text from Danny saying, hey, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, hey, like, I'm gonna like try to move forward. But in my mind, I kept thinking like, this is still unacceptable to me because like, why aren't you calling or texting Melissa? And then I found out later that he thought Melissa was Michelle. So I think that's why I was still having this like resentment and like wanting to like bring it up.
So I took that time to look her in the eyes and say, again, I'm so sorry. This was something that happened that I took full responsibility for, that felt horrible for. Obviously, Nia and I, you know, we went to couples counseling and therapy for it. We did our own separate types of things. You know, I wanted to make sure that we could all put it behind us.
Was that a first for you?
I have had too much to drink in the past. I have blacked out before, but never to where anyone was hurt or affected in any way besides myself.
Unfortunately, I mean, in the relatively brief time that Danny and I have known each other, when he does go out and, let his hair down, it's generally results in him being thrown out of the bar we're at.
This was new for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, I like Danny. I was like, I love Danny, I love Nia. Like, what's happening here? Like,
That's why it was a little shocking. The thing is, sober Danny would never do that.
No.
Ever. Like, sober Danny is a fantastic gentleman of a guy, but he's not a person who should drink to that level.
I never want to like hurt Michelle's feelings. I never want to see her sad, but like she needs to know that this man is running around saying that she's a hooker. Jesse said that you're hooking up with a billionaire for $1,500 a night.
Michelle's worth way more than that.
I'm gay and I'd pay more
Like,
for Michelle
girl,
than $1,500.
that is-
so
and
like,
that's cheap
that
as
rumor's
hell.
dumb.
That's crazy lowball. Crazy lowball.
I'm very curious, just for my own and giggles.
Yeah.
Like, how did this even start? There's no way that anyone in the real estate world told him this.
No.
It was a rumor that I heard that
it true or not?
told Michelle. I don't know if it's true.
Michelle's not a hooker. She's not dating some billionaire or whatever. It's stupid.
God, I wish she was.
And it's definitely not true because Michelle doesn't need anyone to pay her for anything.
I have worked really hard since I'm 20 years old, and I'm very proud of that. And I became a successful real estate agent because of all of my hard work. So to just diminish what I've done in the workplace and just call me an escort or a hooker when I am, in fact, the mother of your child is just devastating.
I'll give you the context. There was a situation, and this is an excuse because I regret doing that and I wish I had unsent that message.
He was like, I have evidence. She's sleeping with a billionaire for $1,500 a night.
But what happened was Michelle had gone and done a Q&A, and a bunch of people said, like, why is Jesse so douchey? And her response was, I don't care, he's not my problem anymore. The amount of people that sent me that screenshot, including on the boys chat, and everybody started this dialogue of like, why is she so resentful? Why is she so mean? My mom is sending it. Like, people back in Boston are sending it. They're like, what is wrong with this girl? You guys share a child. She is your problem for the rest of her life, and you are hers. Yeah. So it got me so frustrated that, and this was not the first time, Janet's party, that Michelle had heard this. I had gone to Michelle and told her that I had heard this rumor. Now, was it right for me to say it on the boys chat? As soon as I sent it, I was like, I regret doing this. I'm so triggered, and my line right now, the thing I really believe is even the strongest man or woman, regardless of their growth, can have a moment of weakness when triggered. That's probably.
I'm gonna make a merch shirt that says that.
Like, that is just men projecting. Like, that's all it is. And I think he's just jealous of Michelle being happy. So he wants to try to say and do whatever he can to like make her look bad. And he didn't think it was gonna get out. He didn't think that anybody was gonna find out that he said that. But we did.
I think there's certain people too in our group who they want to have something to throw in people's face. I think Jesse's like desperate for you to do something that he can say you're wrong over. And if they can't find it, they'll find something else that they can twist to make it seem like she's in the wrong.
Yeah. And putting that out there, even when it's untrue, it lives forever. And she will have comments, like, you have to block those words.
And also, Danny, you should have called me, not tell Luke.
Didn't you see him at church? Like,
I saw him at
right
church the
before
following
that?
week, and he didn't say a word.
I know Michelle. We go to church together, her and Aaron, and it was one of those things. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't think there was any truth to it, but I know how hurtful it could be if it were to ever get back to them.
He thinks she's sleeping with a billionaire for $1,500 a night.
I swear, Jesse.
Yeah.
When you're not on his good side, he wants the worst for you.
Jesse said that you're hooking up with a billionaire for $1,500 a night.
I just want to get divorced and never talk to him again.
What's the status of the divorce?
I mean, these two know.
Oh,
Every time I
God.
get an email from the lawyer of Jesse's response, I just have to text them.
Ridiculous. Like, it's laughable.
The only people that win in this, as you know, are the lawyers.
Well, luckily, I'm representing myself.
The way he nitpicks at every point, and I'm just like, are you kidding me?
The back and forth with her attorneys is fun when I get a little win, because I'm like, maybe I should go back to school. I'll litigate you over anything. Like, I'll somehow convince you that the sky's not blue just to get just 5% if you're like, yeah, actually, it's a little pink today.
He just wants a fight.
Even the lawyer said, I know how much it's costing you, so why don't you just text him and ask him for some of this paperwork? So I do, and his response was, have your lawyer ask me the question. I'm like, you understand that every single time you email my lawyer and they email you, I get charged. And
He
he's
loves
fine
it.
with it.
Of course, he wants to run up every bill for you.
Our mediator messed up. We ended up getting rid of her. She didn't file my acknowledgement of Michelle's filing. So we should have been able to legally divorce in September. She didn't file the paperwork until we caught it on the day we legally allowed to be divorced. So the clock started in September, and we should have been able to be divorced. We're nowhere close.
It's just like he's trying to prolong it all. And a part of me thinks that he does it because he does not want me to remarry. So he's like, you know, let's just do this forever so that she can't move on and get married and have kids again.
It's a control thing. I feel so bad for Michelle because he's fighting every single thing. So that part is, Michelle has it worse when it comes to that part for sure.
Man, I don't mean to rub salt in the wound, but I think back to my divorce. I'm like, we had an hour mediating session. We fist bumped and then we split everything.
So, again, another reason to be jealous of you.
$1,000.
Oh, I think I paid $1,000 yesterday.
I knew it wasn't going to be like that when Michelle had asked for months to move out. She wanted to go, she wanted to go, she wanted to go. When she finally moved out, the fights that started over the furniture, and then you start to have to like, well, I want all these pieces of art. I'm like, those are premarital assets. You have no right to those, and I bought them. Like, you're not taking those. Then it was like, I'll never forget, where she pulls out the silverware drawer and she's like, well, I'm taking half of the silverware. I'm like, well, not those. My ex-girlfriend got me those. And she took them and threw them across the kitchen.
I think that's where I'm a little different, is because I don't want to disrupt Cruz and Brittany's life. I don't want to keep stuff that my wife and I had. I want to start over.
He thinks that he's entitled to everything and that I'm not entitled to half or anything. And he wants me to pay him for half of the wedding and all this other bullshit.
Wild.
That is wild.
Like, I never wanted a wedding. It was all of Jesse's idea. He took me to Napa and he's like, I'm only getting married once. I want to get married in Napa and do it perfectly. We only had 55 people at our wedding. It was a 3-day weekend. And at the time, he was making a lot more money than me. And he's like, I got it, it's fine. So he took care of most of the bill. I paid for my dress. And I think it cost us like $140,000 for our wedding.
Dang.
And he is now saying, oh, you promised me that you would pay me half of the wedding back.
Isn't your lawyer like clearing that up? Because I'm pretty sure that's
it's not
a thing. Like,
but
you
he
can't
has to
do that.
agree, and that's the problem. If not, we have to go to court. So I've been trying to not do that, but there's like 20 different points that he wants from me.
It's wild because like even if you paid him $70,000, isn't that like 7 lunches for Jesse?
Yeah, and I'm not entitled to any of that because he drank it all and spent it all.